We are in the nation's capital with Christopher Reeve, and there's a good reason for that, because of that very special dedication last night. That must have been kind of fun for you.
It was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was nice to go down the hall and all these familiar exhibits of the American kitchen and the classroom from the 40s and the military barracks from World War I. You turn the corner and there's the entire life of Superman, and it seems sort of that it's a legitimate mainstream American culture, not just a comic book anymore.
Yeah. It must be terribly satisfying for you as an actor to have accomplished, with hard work, I might add, what so many actors would love to, but many frequently can. That is, to be an immensely popular hero, and at the same time have everyone know that you are very varied in your acting experience, do serious roles, do Broadway and everything else. That is exactly what an actor would like to have happen, is it not?
I mean, it sounds ideal, and that's what I've been trying for. It's you can't control. What I've realized a while ago is you can't control public perception, and what you can do is just do the work that you really care about and hope for the best. So, if there may be people who think of me as Superman for life, but I can't go up and try to beat him up and say, no, I'm real, and I can't do that. Just do the work, and people will find it or not, whatever. So I feel released by that. You know, I'm not struggling anymore. I'm just doing the things that matter to me.
There was a time when you did struggle with that part of it?
I would say right after Superman 1, I pushed it a little hard. I sort of, there was you know, we all have a need to tell the world who we are. Yeah. You know, you just say like, hello folks, this is who I am. You don't want to be given an assignment by other people. And in this culture, we pigeonhole everybody. You know, the sort of the People magazine kind of identify, you know, this person goes in this section, that goes in that section, and we tend to do it in this culture a lot. And you know, the idea of a Renaissance man, the idea of somebody who has a wide variety of interests and tastes and abilities, it seems to have been relegated to the 19th century now. Yeah. But still, that's the goal for me. That's the goal.
The popular art form, actually, even before Superman, you were involved in what is called soap operas, which helped you get into the acting profession and kind of underwrote other more serious efforts at that time. It
kills two birds with one stone. You learn a bit about working for the camera, and you make a little money so you can afford to work off Broadway and stuff. I mean, I was making at the time you used to get $200 a day for the soap opera. That was just astronomical sum for me. But I mean, you know, then I'd work at places like the Theater for the New City and the Manhattan Theater Club, and I got a part in a Broadway play while I was doing that, and I also financed my studies at Juilliard. I'd sponged off my stepfather as much as I could. He put me through college, but I didn't feel I could ask him for more. I had to find a job. And
one of the things also that this popularity has allowed you is a hand in developing the next Superman, which you had in this particular effort.
Well, I think really it was a case of me feeling very proprietary about the character. I've played him for almost 10 years, and I felt that in order to come back and do part 4, I wanted to be involved. And for a while we talked about me directing it, and a while we talked about producing, and I realized that both of those are much too time consuming, and I didn't really want to have to try to function as director and actor. So we came up with, well, you know, how about if I write the story? And Warner's was putting a lot of pressure on me in late 1985 to do Superman again. And in the middle of the year, suddenly it all came together, this whole nuclear issue. The death of Samantha Smith, who I'm sure you remember. Right. I did a program that children had done in Boston called A Message to Our Parents, a documentary made by 12-year-olds about their fears of growing up in a nuclear age. And the Reagan-Gorbachev summit was happening. All this combined with thinking Superman's got to do something more than just catch helicopters now. And that's where the idea came from.
And he does. And we don't mean to diminish the idea that it's an entertainment form at the same time as it's teaching us something.
You got an interesting problem, is that here's a character that people all over the world identify with and have wanted to see for 50 years. You know, he's really hung in there a long time. On the other hand, now, what are you going to do with that? You've got kids' attention all over the world. It's something that shouldn't be wasted, and yet you don't, you know, this is not a lecture hall, or, you know, it's not a sermon that we're offering here, it's an entertainment movie. So to what extent do you want to get real? To what extent do you want to actually have a message? And we've tried to juggle that, and I think what we've ended up with is a movie where you can really put your feet up, you know, pass the popcorn around, and at the same time there is a a very uplifting kind of message that comes with it. I don't know. I hope we got the balance right.
I saw you last night at the museum giving autographs. Some people kind of great at that activity of autographs. How do you handle it?
It depends on where it's happening. There's times I certainly grace. You know, what I love, the scene I love is, you know, you're sitting down to a quiet dinner, maybe sort of like 4 people or so, and the food has just arrived and everything's nice and hot on the table, and somebody comes over who's usually tippled a couple too many. Says, "Hey, I know you. Hey, come here, sign this." You know, and it's
and they
just
never say please. They say sign this.
No, there's a feeling of you owe me.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And it's very hard to stay cool in those situations. I blow a few times. Or, you know,
when I think last we talked, or one of the times we've spoken, your interest in flying without the cape was great. Is it still?
Yes. I've always been. I'm a pilot and have always. My love of aviation started way before Superman, though. In fact, I think one of the reasons that I got the job was that I cared so much about the flying. But that was my backup career. If I bombed out as an actor, I was going to go be a bush pilot in the Yukon or do something romantic like that. But I fly a lot. I've got about 2,500 hours now.
The Yukon's loss is our gain.
Well, there's still that option. I can still go there.
And that's something that actors, no matter how successful,
right.
are always thinking of, isn't
Absolutely, yeah. What's plan B?
Okay. Chris, good to see you again. Thank you so much. Superman 4, imminently in your theaters.
Good. Sorry, I missed what part of the country I was talking
I'm from
to.
Minneapolis.
Oh, great. Oh, good.